RW, Ken's fighting alone. Oh my god. Gold box together, nice.
Can you tag me with that?
Oh, he hit me.
Oh, and the Le Monarch finished me.
What do you hit with blessings on the Monarch anyway? In the body?
Oh, you hit both!
Oh, that storm's gonna come though.
I'm gonna try to freeze him.
Straight up in the air.
I'm sticking to a corner just to beat the storm. Rotate the temple, please. I'm gonna freeze it.
One's on the flank. No shield on the flank.
Got it. Good win.
Yeah. What is going on?
That was sick.
Absolute
We had a Destiny trailer right there. That's what that was. We just live actioned in Bungie. You know our PayPals.
Time to slowly walk forward with our weapons lower.
Okay. I wanted to do this video for a very long time. This is my approach to Shadebinders, so I hope we all learned something here. Let's get into the video. So, overall, Shadebinder is the Swiss Army knife of Destiny. It's the best all-around build for the game, meaning that no matter what I see on the enemy team, Shadebinder has an answer. I don't have to swap around my weapons, I don't have to swap around mods, doesn't matter what map shows up, doesn't matter what opponent shows up, everything is staying the same. I can deal with it. So this is because it has the longest cooldowns in the game for its abilities, but they're also the most impactful and versatile, so it kind of balances out there. We'll start off with the Glacier Grenade, which can be used as a makeshift barricade. Okay.
You got a barricade for me, Cam, if you want.
I'll Glacier you in 5 sec.
I haven't smoked yet. I'm safe.
A double freeze! It can also be used as a platform.
Dude, to figure out how to counter it, people figure it out. I'll make the video on how to counter it, and I'll still use it. I was thinking about that, like, maybe I'll make a video on that.
Got a good pick. Portal, weak. And most importantly, it can level up into a turret.
Okay. Yeah, he's pushing up right now. Oh, good track. Good from you guys.
We got him.
Nice!
Yo,
Let's go, dude.
we're outside.
He was banging. He got killed because he was banging.
Torment these nuts. Oh man. I'm feeding my turret good tonight. The turret is the single best part of the kit because it acts as an extra half teammate by slowing nearby targets with its burst fire. You can learn lineups to land turrets on all sorts of obnoxious rooftops and ceilings, quite literally upping the knowledge gap of Destiny 2. I employed turret rooftops in Trials gameplay, linked in the description below, so definitely check that out if you're curious what I mean by a Counter-Strike lineup. Overall, turret's one of the best abilities in the game for breaking stalemates, which is something that I've always wanted to pursue in gameplay, because I hate just sitting there waiting for the clock because my opponents decide to camp. So a turret giving one of the best answers in the game alone makes Shadebinder one of my favorite choices in the current season. Fair warning with the turret though, it can be turned against you if the enemy kills it to proc something like kill clip. Let me break for kill clip. I got kill clip. I'm fighting.
Okay.
As for the other grenade options, we have Dustfield, which is amazing because of its fast cooldown. Check this out. Goes down to, oh, hold up, I have turret equipped, so it leeches that. Let me double check this. 24 seconds. Let me put turret back on. Yeah, 24 seconds compared to Glacier's 1 minute. So, twice as fast. And you can kind of build into this with high melee builds, where you would have maybe 3 or 4 discipline. You end up with like a 1 minute Dustfield and then 30-second melee, and you can use something like Claws of Ahamkara, armor piece, to stock up onto melee charges. And I'll get to the melee here in a second. I want to continue talking about nades. Also, we have a new exotic arm called the Ozymancy gloves, which allow you to have 2 enhanced cold snap grenades. So let's look at that cooldown. Gotta take the turret off. Cold snap is 47, Glacier 58, Dustfield 24. So yeah, Ozymancy gloves are pretty sick because you could backpack 2 turrets. If you haven't unlocked these yet, I think you get them for free from the Witch Queen campaign, but I do recommend not picking Ozymancy if you want them, because you're guaranteed to, sorry if you hear noise in the background, you're guaranteed to get these from doing the first Lost Sector if you haven't unlocked them yet. So if it's a glove day, I usually go to todayindestiny.com and look at the Lost Sector. If it's a glove day, I'm going to check for today right now. Okay, so I just checked the Lost Sector for today. It is, in fact, gloves. So if you want Ozymancy and you have not unlocked them, you can go get them. Having enhanced cold snap grenades is awesome for like a 6s build, Iron Banner build, because you can combine it with the Ice Flare Bolts aspect, where if you kill a frozen target, it sends another frozen seeker. So you can kind of keep groups of players perpetually frozen as long as the initial cold snap lands. And even if it doesn't land, it's still doing something because it's causing your opponent to have to move, which is phenomenal. I think that really covers grenades there. So next up is the melee Penumbral Blast. It's a slow-moving ice projectile, which speaks to my inner Sweaty Clicks RuneScape looking ass. You hit him with the full power of 94 magic. Catch him slipping at Mage Bank. If you know, you know.
Flinted one.
Oh, unlucky smoke bomb. Alright, that'll work.
So this melee was actually nerfed to have slower velocity, but it high-key made it more useful because when a pre-fire does hit, your character is able to act effectively sooner. Now let's talk about the Rift, or more specifically, because of the aspect, the Freeze Rift. It has a very, very, very generous radius for where it freezes.
Cubby is so weak. Oh, I didn't think you had an overshield or something. I don't know.
Oh,
Maybe I missed.
Lawrence in mid. You got that, kid.
My res.
Lawrence driver. Let's go, dude.
Yep. Big tip is that the Empowering Rift animation is slightly faster than the healing for whatever reason, so it allows you to sneak in an extra weapon hit with your melee to better deal with something like a super. Typically when dealing with supers, I'll use all 3 abilities at once in a combo. I'll use like the Glacier Grenade to give me resist, which will allow me to safely get the Freeze Rift down, which will allow me to use something like a special weapon to do big damage and follow it up with the melee. I should say a non-ability melee. If it's too dicey of a situation or I'm going into a bubble, I'll lead with the freeze melee and then follow up with the freeze rift to keep them like perpetually frozen so that my teammates can help me deal with them. The biggest thing to learn / pay attention to is what kind of super attacks you can survive for having the Glacier Grenade next to you because of the Whisper of Chains resist. You take reduced damage from targets. So sometimes an Arc Strider might have to double tap instead of like single swing you. And this damage resist is getting nerfed a bit next season, but I'm also running max resilience for a different reason, so it'll still be very strong and probably close to what we have now. So let's talk about these stat splits. I can easily get 10 resilience by using fragments. So I have chains for recovery, shards if I break a crystal, I get a faster grenade recharge rate, and it also gives me an extra 10 resilience. Then I also have conduction, which stasis shards track to me for an additional 10 resilience and 10 intellect. If I had to do my armor differently, I would ditch this and I would go with Whisper of Torment. Get grenade energy each time I take damage from targets. But because I want my turret to be more impactful, I use Durance. It makes my turret slow go from 2 seconds to 4 seconds, and in PvP, being slowed for 4 seconds is an eternity. This is my shotgunning build for Shadebinder. I'm going to show you all the mods. If I had to snipe with it, I would tweak some things around, but it would look relatively the same. Maybe I end up at 9 discipline. I'm not 100% sure how it's going to work out yet. I have to see next season's artifact too. So next season, I'm just going to go hand cannon targeting and precision charge. I'll probably ditch this kinetic siphon, just using it right now because orbs are fun. For Ophidian aspect, since it does give a plus 32 to handling, I elected not to go with the quick charge shotgun mod, which does give another 25 handling. I went for hand cannon dexterity to get the fastest swap possible from Hawkmoon to my lightweight shotgun. As you notice, its handling is already high enough, so the plus 32 maxes it out. I don't need to use quick charge. The most important part about this shotgun is 1-2 punch. Since my target's going to be frozen a lot of the time, it allows me to proc this perk, which increases my melee damage, which allows me to deal with almost every super in the game. And in a pinch, or in a punch I should say, if I'm short on abilities, I don't have any freezes, and a bubble pops on a zone, and I have to contest it right now, right here, then 1-2 punch has a chance of beating the bubble. And you can't really say that about anything else in the sandbox. So in a way, I use my shotgun as a special weapon. I know, that's crazy to hear. On the chest piece, double hand cannon, unflinching. Resilience will be 10 because I want the most unflinching possible. That's a change in the future season. And then on the Hawk Moon, the highest amount of stability range combo it can get. If one comes around with a max stability setup, I'll probably go for it. But overall, I think this is the best Hawk Moon roll. It would be fun to see what that little bit of extra stability does to the flinch, but I think this is the best it can possibly be. Eye of the Storm handling doesn't make as big of a difference on my Ophidian aspects, but as I start landing headshots, I get more range and more handling. And so I will for sure have a 100 handling Hawkmoon, 100 handling shotgun because of Ophidian aspects after a couple Hawkmoon shots. Worst case, I don't land any shots, I get hurt. I still temporarily have a max handling Hawkmoon, again, because of Eye of the Storm. I use this perk because of the accuracy boost, meaning when I'm across the map getting shot by a pulse rifle, I still land some shots of Hawkmoon, which allow me to build up paracausal shot, which allows me to have a win condition to eventually one-bang somebody for being out of position and playing too passive. So this has two different punishments to campers. It has the turret, and it has the Hawkmoon. There are other good loadouts though. At first I want to recommend some exotic armor before I get into the weapons, but this is my shotgunning build. So let's go with armor, just going to go generic here. Eye of Another World if you want faster turret cooldown. Stag if you want to build into resist with a healing rift. Claws of Ahamkara if you want a double melee charge. I'm going to talk about Ophidians last. Necrotic if you really like Thorn and want some extra in-air accuracy, as well as quite possibly poisoning the enemy team with freeze melee follow-ups. Osiomancy for crowd control or double turrets. Then we have Transversive for generic play. Lunafaction if you're not going the freeze rift route and you're just using this to get extra range on weapons that normally can't get it. Boots of the Assembler for Lumina. And then Mantle of Battle Harmony if you're going Aegir Scepter, which is a trace rifle. Stasis, where you can consume your super to get an extra high charge beam. But the thing about Aegir Scepter is it works off of your stasis fragments, so you can build into making just Aegir at base very good and chain freezing enemies and stuff. So there is something to be said for Mantle of Battle Harmony. The last one, of course, was Ophidian Aspect, which is what you see, and I don't want to be the one to tell the teacher to collect the homework, but Stompy's got a minus 50 to the airborne stat next season, and Ophidians are getting a plus 10 despite being the most popular Warlock exotic. And you might be thinking, oh Cam, you're for sure using it because of the handling and the reload. Nah fam, I'm using this because of the extra melee distance. And the reason for that is because when I throw this freeze rift down, when I hit this freeze ability melee, and I go up to follow up with a normal melee to kill them, it doesn't proc sometimes. It short stops. It whiffs. With Ophidian aspects, it whiffs just a little bit less, and for that reason, you can't take off Ophidian aspects on Shadebinder. Whiffing the melee is the worst feeling in the world because it can win games. So yeah, they can nerf everything about Ophidians. They can even minus 50 airborne accuracy, and I still might have to use them just because of Shadebinder melee. So it's worth considering. Okay, now let's get into the weapon combos. I had a couple of Destiny Item Manager and D2 Gunsmith pulled up just to show y'all, and I also have some of my inventory. So let's go with the inventory ones. First, on the subject of 1-2 punch, I would go with Perpetual Motion here, but the Ragnhild D craftable shotgun has an enhanced 1-2 punch perk where you don't have to land every pellet. I think it's 10 out of the 12 pellets to get the enhanced melee. And so this does come up if you want to go something like Sunshot Ragnhild. Chaperone, also great. I should say slug shotguns in general, really good for following up freezes when you don't have a melee heavy build. In the same way, you could go, shout out to Stadia Time, another very, very well-equipped Shadebinder. Watch his stream. I'll try to put that in the description. You could go with the Swashbuckler Bow to allow for one-taps, and an Ariana's Vow to get one-taps off of frozen targets by aiming at the face, as well as Empowering Rift giving you one-taps with the Ariana. So you have a lot of flexibility there. I think he runs it with Ophidians and Claws of Ahamkara, depending on what he's feeling that day. I prefer Lord of Wolves as my special weapon cleanup off of freezes. It is getting a range reduction, but I don't run Lord of Wolves because it's incredible. I run it because it's consistent. Pellet shotgun will fail me. At least Lord of Wolves is hitting it. Even where duality, has the dual nature, the Swiss Army knife of saying, oh, I can pellet when I need to or slug when I need to, and I can also proc on black wings to maybe kill a super. Lord of Wolves just always does it. There's no setup. It's just your positioning that matters. And truthfully, if shotguns are that much of an issue, you have Frost Pulse to crutch on if you need it. So while Lord of Wolves is really powerful, you don't use it on Shadebinder because of that fact. You just use it because it's consistent. In a similar vein, Fighting Lion can one-hit frozen targets because I guess it counts as a special weapon damage. Not 100% sure there. Next season, Empowering Rift is taking a slight hit to damage instead of being, I don't know the exact number, but anyway, high impact reserves might make a slight difference on body shotting targets with the high impact sniper rifle. So just keep this in the back of your head as we test new damage combos in future seasons. What else do we got? Wither Horde, if you want to land it on a frozen target, it kills anything in the game. So automatically a really strong option. If you want to go a stasis setup, you could go for AS Luna with the Headstone perk. Precision Final Blows spawn a stasis crystal at the victim's location, which does work with your fragments so you can get damage resist and grenade recharge. Since Ophidians add plus 32 handling to it, you could get this like uber concoction of stats right here by going Stability Masterwork, Fast Draw, Ricochet Rounds, and I like Unrelenting. It does actually proc. Check out the clip.
There could be.
I'm nuts. So yeah, 90 stability in terms of anti-flinch is going to be elite next season. And the fact that Headstone helps proc Unrelenting, which might help you win a 1v3, is amazing. I would also say if you're an Ophidian user, you could just take advantage of Kill Clip. Or you could use Snapshot if you just want a generic daily driver. You could go Perpetual Motion too if you want to max out stability the rest of the way, which means that you might as well drop the handling and go for a slightly different barrel. So maybe Steady Hand makes more sense, and then one stack of Perpetual Motion gets it the rest of the way. So you have a lot of options with AS Luna. Another hand cannon I like using is the Loud Lullaby. More specifically, I like to use the Steady Hand, but the Steady Hand is not available. So this is what I rock on the Steady Hand. I run Swashbuckler on a 120, which does allow it for 2 taps after a melee kill. But since that doesn't exist, I'm going to recommend the Loud Lullaby with Kill Clip and Surplus. I almost have a perfect ideal roll, but after thinking about it, this is what I would go for. Kill Clip, Surplus, Tactical Mag, Arrowhead Break, and a Handling or Stability Masterwork. Either is good enough. And it also works on other classes, not just Shadebinder. This does come up. I even prefer it to my Chromill's Dagger, which has Outlaw Kill Clip. Surplus is that good of a perk on a 120. In terms of other primaries, there's Dead Man's Tale. You can stack up Cranial Spike on a frozen target. In the same way, Malfeasance will show up more next season because of having better usage in the air with the new Airborne stat. Every 5th bullet of Malfeasance landed on a target blows him up, and since you do less damage to frozen targets, if you use Malfeasance as a team, in combination with Stasis, you are going to delete teams and supers alike. Finite Impactor is Baby Hawkmoon. I would actually prefer a 120 hand cannon here, so just go Igneous Hammer and don't overthink it. And if you are an Ophidian main, you have access to the best shotgun in the game for generic use, which is the Found Verdict. And I would argue that if you're an Ophidian user, you can probably go Slide Shot here instead of Surplus, but for every other class in the game, Surplus is amazing. I think that covers everything I wanted to talk about here. Sunshot's a good generic hand cannon if I didn't already say it. Also might blow up frozen targets, which is pretty cool. Power weapon, don't overthink it. Rocket, GL, whatever. I go a linear fusion just because with Empowering Rift it should body shot, and with Harmony, after a weapon kill, I could follow up like a stack of Hawkmoon into body shots with the linear fusion for 7 seconds. So it does come up pretty frequently in 6s. But if I'm playing 3s, I typically use the Blast Batu because Threat Detector gives me some information even when I don't have power ammo. And then Disruption Break helps both me and my teammates follow up kills if for some reason Proxy didn't finish the job. I hope you learned something new in this video, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm probably just going to be streaming some Season 17 prep and playing some Phantasy Star later in the stream. So hopefully I'll see you there. Take care, everybody.
One shot in their gold box.
Still one shot?
Two one shot
Gold
in their
block.
gold
Looking
box.
gold block. Can't see it.
Oh, he telestoed heavy.
Two gold
Top,
box.
dead.
One's one shot. Worm Husk on gold box.
Oh my cam. You are.
Samuel pigs.
That was not okay what you just did.
The turret still hit him. Look at where it is. One is Vex.
Yeah, they're flashed.
Still Vex. 70 Vex. Dead.
True. Yeah, they're flashed pretty hard. He's fucking dead. Oh yeah, Crest of Alpha Loopy. Sick.
It's a sign. You're on stim pack duty.
Oh, is that what this does? Sick.
Yeah.
All right. Oh no, I didn't get to unblock them. Now they're gonna. Maybe I can do that from the post game.
Oh yeah, one of those guys blocked. Fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, now they're
Did
gonna
you bag
block.
him?
No, I didn't. I just played really well, Drew. That's like the same thing.
I'm playing that pick.
I'm jumping over Drew to dunk.
Stay alive, stay alive, stay alive.
He's gonna bubble those, so I'm throwing a dusk on it. There it is. He can freeze.
Freezing him.
Oh, I killed myself on that.
Cam.
I mean, I thought it would kill him, so in my defense.
Yeah. That was so funny. Nice.
Good shit, Kim.
He had super, dude. That's my bad. I didn't...
Cammy has a wave one.
He is black Ellen. He's on my X. He barricaded. He's pushing out.
Come on, get the smoke.
Yes, sword.
To get that res.
He's pushing
One's
out.
hopping above. Two hopping above.
Oh, you're nuts!
You're God.
Oh, I did not see him.
Good shots.
Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Oh, no.
Should have had your primary out.